Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
Bryce.
Good. Blessed. Thanks for asking, man. I appreciate that.
How did you feel like the offense performed today? It looked like a pretty solid day all around for you guys.
Yeah, I think it was a good day. It's a great – anytime you get to go and compete against someone else, it's always fun. It's always fun just to be united in that, training camp. You're back and forth, with your own team, and then, you start to – the offense, the defense start to kind of form that rivalry. But, at the end of the day, we're the Panthers. And for us to kind of be able to go out there and be united, have each other's backs, root for each other, that part's always fun.
A rare joint practice without any major scuffles or anything like that. What does that say about necessarily the maturity of this team and everyone keeping their focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, just two teams wanting to work, wanting to get better at football. The coaches, Coach Canales talked to us about that, wanting to keep it clean, wanting to make sure it was football, wanted to not for things not to be disrespectful. We commend them, both sides, just, again, wanting to get our work.
You did
Bryce,
jokingly grip someone up, though, in that one. Who was that?
Yeah, that was – I'm not – it was a pile, so I didn't get to see who it was.
There was that one moment from 28 on Cleveland. You kind of just chucked the ball at Chuba's head. Did you see that?
Yeah. That's the classic DB special. They get a PBU. You want to throw the ball back. So yeah, it's all competition.
How will you benefit? Can you benefit from playing this first preseason game and the second one, whereas last year you did not?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think it'll be great for us. A lot of familiar faces, but obviously some new pieces. And every year, we're a new team. So I think it's just a great opportunity for us to, at the first opportunity we can go out there and, try to establish ourselves, get more and more comfortable, get reps. And I think it'll be a great thing for myself, for all of us, just to kind of get our feet wet a little bit in the preseason. We're going to make sure that we do everything we can to execute and take advantage of that opportunity.
Bryce, you didn't play much last year in the preseason. Did you and Dave talk about, maybe changing the format this year?
Coach Canales and everyone in the front office, they make those decisions. Whatever it is that they ask of me as an offense, as a team, that's chain of command of what we do. But again, I'm excited to be playing. I think it's a great opportunity. Anytime we get to go out there, we get to go into the bank, we get to go out as a team. I don't take that for granted. It's a blessing no matter what it is, so I'm definitely excited.
Bryce, you seem to target Tetaroa a lot today. Is that just a natural thing, or is Dave and Brad scheming him open? Like, where's y'all's connection coming from?
Yeah, just wanting to do what we can to take advantage of what the defense gives. I have all the confidence in the world in him and the rest of the receiving core. It's going to be today, he probably got a few more targets, and, there's been practices where it's been him, it's been Adam, Eggs, whatever it may be, all the way down. So that's how it went today. We want to make sure that we can do whatever's best for the team, again, take advantage of what the defense gave us. So that's just how it happened to be today.
What did you learn against? There was a play in team where it seemed like y'all were on different pages, but then the next play you went right back to him, same play. How have you seen him kind of respond to those moments where, it'd be easy to get frustrated but have to go straight on?
Yeah, T-Mac's done a great job, and really I'm super grateful the entire receiver room has that next play attitude, which is huge. Just as a team, as offense, we talk about a lot as a coaching staff and as a unit. You want to learn from the last play. We come back and we have conversation on the sideline, but that's not – you don't want to take that last play into the next play, good or bad. And everyone has that mentality. So whenever there's something that we have to recalibrate, we come to the sideline, we talk about it, we get better from it. And then from my standpoint, there's zero loss of confidence, loss of faith, trust, anything. If a play doesn't go our way, that's going to happen. And, we have to turn the page and get to the next ones.
So what you guys learned today about your offense, as you're playing guys you hadn't played before, that you didn't know going in, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's good to watch us react. Watch us react to different things. Obviously, our defense does a ton of things, but you get very familiar with who you're going against. You get familiar with matchups, and when you come in against a team that you're not familiar with, and you don't know what's going to come. It's good to see what our natural reactions are. So I think this was just a great learning experience for all of us. I have I love how we responded to things. You know, obviously there's things to clean up, things we want to get better at, but all in all, I think it was just a great learning opportunity. I haven't watched the film yet, so excited to go into meetings and do that. But anytime we get the opportunity, it's a good thing.
Have you had the opportunity to talk to JC at all about that car accident that he had? How's the locker room and how he's feeling, if you had a chance to do that?
Yeah, talked to him. You know, he was out there, even without practicing, just as much energy as he always has. You know, that's the person he is. You know, I know he would have loved to be out there, but doing everything from the sideline, staying. They got him a script. He's following with the play calls, making sure he's engaged, and you know that's the energy it is. Know what happened. Obviously, I don't know the specifics of everything going on, but yeah, I mean that's our guy. We know he's always going to do everything he can. So I'm grateful he's on our side.
Back on the preseason games, do you think not playing many snaps last year in those games may have impacted y'all early in the season?
No, I think that, again, I trust the coaches and the decisions they make, and I'm sure that, you know, they look at things from a year-to-year basis, whatever they feel like the team needs. You know, the decision they make is, we talk about them, the quarterback, a lot. Whatever decision is made, that's the best card in the house. So there's no pointing fingers, there's no blaming, and again, all that's last year. This was a decision for this year. I'm happy, I'm excited for it, and that's all I'm focused on.
Bryce, you guys are working together with Austin and Cade. Do you notice any major differences between the two when they're at center?
Yeah, no, which is saying a lot for how well they play the position physically, but also mentally. Great communicators, both of them. They do a great job in the running game, in the pass game, and you know, center position. There's so much that you don't see from the outside looking in. You know, they have to be the people who drive so much. All the they run game points, pass game communications. They have to not just see who's in front of them, but they have to see the whole contour of the defense. And both of them do it at such a high level. Both super smart guys. Great communication with me and the rest of quarterbacks, whoever's in. So yeah, I have all the confidence in the world in whoever it is that's in there.
Advice you gave to Shador? Any advice you gave to Shador out there today?
I don't have any advice. He's had a ton of success his entire life. You know, he's the reason he's here is he knows how to get here. So you know, I'm trying to find my way, be the best I can, and the same with all those guys over there on that side. They've all been great players. There's a reason they're all playing NFL football. So I believe everyone has their own path. Everyone has their journey. So I'm rooting for all those guys.
How weird is it that you're now being asked as the Grizzled vet?
I know. Yeah, we're the same age, which is another thing too. Yeah, we're the same age. So. We might be the same class or something. So yeah, it's always funny sometimes. Like year 3, it doesn't always feel like that. But yeah, I've been here for a little bit longer. But you know, we're all growing, all learning from experience, and I'm excited for all the guys over there.
Know him at all coming out?
Yeah, we've ran into each other with I think like camps when we were younger. You know, quarterback world is a small world.
Bryce, you talked about the chain of command and coaches make the decision and you're happy with all that, but last year was your first year with Coach Canales. Is he, I know you guys have a great line of communication, but are you able to use your voice a little more and offer up, or is that still a two-way street? Is there a little bit more or less?
Yeah. Well, Coach Canales has always prided himself in having open dialogue with all of his players, which is something that I'm super grateful for. And really, he's always around, always in rooms, always want to hear things. So he's definitely made it for an environment for myself and for everyone to voice how we feel, voice opinions. So that's something you're super grateful for as a QB.
You get that kind of input when it comes to, or is he listening to you and say, look, I want to play a little more in the preseason, or I'd like to. You kind of offer those suggestions.
That's stuff that I leave up to the front office, leave up to the coaching staff. You know, I haven't not asked. Again, I trust them. They know what's best for the team. It's not just about me, it's about everyone. So yeah, I trust in them in that.
Yesterday on an interview that you weren't happy about being benched last year, but it was the way you handled it that really impressed him. Can you kind of expand on that and just like where were you unhappy? What were your thoughts to that point?
Again, that's something from last year. You know, we're all competitors. I want to be what's best, but just like now, I want to do whatever's best for the team.
Houston. So you'll have CJ out there. You guys are familiar with each other. What did you guys do this summer? Y'all spent a lot of time together, it seemed like, from social media, and what's that relationship like?
Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We've been close for a long time, and that's someone I always root for. I'm super excited to be out there with him, with a lot of guys from Houston that I know. Obviously, I have a ton of respect for them as an organization. Right now, it's all about Cleveland, so that's not something that's on our radar right now. We're week to week, but obviously being able to do stuff like that with people you're really close with, not just because of football, it's a blessing.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
All right. Believe in the power of prayer. It was raining this morning. I was like, Lord, just a window, just a little window. And I promise you, it didn't rain until we called it up to have our team meeting at the end. So I was glad. I was excited about that. Now, we were up for the challenge. You know, we had a wet practice yesterday, but I just loved, because of the opportunity to go against the Browns. Kevin Stefanski and I have known each other for 15 years. We both were quality control coaches for Darrell Bevel, who's down in Miami. And so he and I have a lot in common. And so, you know, we had some good interchanges. The veteran guys met before practice, talk about rules of engagement. You know, this is what we're expecting. We expect it to be a physical day. We're not going to dive at legs, and on our side, at least on the offensive side, that didn't happen. It was a physical style of play. And the good part is, too, like when the emotions start going, there was a couple of pushing and shoving and a little bit of face mask lockup a couple times, but I saw two groups come in there, not to throw haymakers and blindside shots, but to pull the guys apart. And they were kind of jawing at each other in a playful way, big smiles and a lot of juice. I mean, I can't dream of a better situation, a better scenario to have that kind of competition, but also to be able to respect each other. And so really just tribute to, you know, Kevin and the Browns coming in here and getting some good work in.
What can you tell us about JC?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of details. I mean, you guys can, you know, check with the local authorities for the accident. I'm glad that JC was okay. He did have to have a few stitches in his left thumb area. And so they got that all cleaned up and sutured up. He's day to day right now. We're just going to kind of evaluate. It doesn't seem like anything else happened. But, you know, we're just going to kind of evaluate him each day. He'll be able to still do some activity and running and all that. But he will not play this game. Hopefully we can get him turned around so we can take advantage of an opportunity in Houston, you know, for that game, which was kind of the plan all along.
What hand was that on?
On his left hand.
Do you know how it happened, Dave?
I don't. I just know it was a car accident. I got a text and a call from all of our guys, and they just kind of let us know that they were bringing him in to look at it, and then you know, got him stitched up, cleaned up, and then we'll just kind of see what happens because as you all may, I don't know if any of you have been in a car accident, but there's things that kind of present the night of the next day, so we're just going to monitor him and make sure he's fine.
Sounds like it was just right out here outside the stadium. Right?
Yeah, I think it was like Mint and Moorhead right here. So just I don't know exactly what happened, but I know that's where it was at.
You said the plan all along was the plan for Houston, so
yeah.
Friday wasn't in the works then?
No, Friday was, yeah. But the plan was to play the starters in the first two games. Mm-hmm.
Dave, it looked like Bryce threw the ball pretty well out there today. I know you have to probably go back and look at it, but what stood out to you, if anything?
Oh, yeah, just finding his guys down the field, you know, guys being available to him. I think the 7-on-7 period, they weren't on the same page a couple times. And so there's something that we can kind of work through. But, you know, I just loved, you know, the bounce back plays. You know, the Browns are pros too. They made some plays out there, you know, and just a highlight to see that front. It's a pretty good front, you know, adding Mason Graham inside, of course. You know, Myles Garrett was out there. And so just loved the physical style of play that was happening. But Bryce was able to find some opportunities down the field. And we looked a little leggy. We got after it yesterday. You know, I'll be honest. We looked a little leggy at first, but the guys kind of got going in the practice. And, of course, just competition brings out the best in the guys.
What does leggy mean? I mean.
Oh, just, you know, when you go back-to-back practice days. You know, we had a good one yesterday in the rain, yes. So just leggy just means like I could tell there were times, you know, guy kind of comes out of a break and, you know, loses his footing a little bit. And so, you know, camp's starting to accumulate. But I love that part because that means we're getting to the place where we're pushing our guys beyond their limits, and it'll pay off for us.
Charles got kind of banged up in there. Yeah. What happened with him, and did he actually leave practice?
Yeah, so we're going to evaluate him for a groin injury. We're going to take a look at that, kind of let it calm down a little bit this afternoon, but they'll check him out right now, and then we'll recheck him in the morning to see where he's at.
He had a really nice play the play before where he broke up a pass. It seemed like the linebackers were particularly busy and the run defense looked pretty good. What did you see from them in general?
I didn't get to see a second of that part of the practice because I was on the offensive field. Can't wait to watch it.
Dave, you mentioned that there were a couple moments where guys weren't on the same page. What does it take for you to run a play back or to want to see it over again? Is that a thing you do?
Oh yeah, we will. Like we'll either repeat it at the end of a drill because what you don't want to do is go right back out there. The defense saw the concept, just for the sake of just giving the play a chance to start off. So we'll either repeat it at the end of that drill, or we just say, hey, that's another one we got to get back to. We wait till the next day to get it. And the good part about that too is we don't always want to just give them another opportunity right away. You don't get that in the game. You get one shot sometimes versus this particular coverage, or it might be a pressure from our defense and we're trying to attack a protection or something. You get one shot, so the execution is a premium.
Bryce?
Defensively, how do you feel like you guys did out there? I mean, I know you haven't seen all the tape and everything.
I haven't seen any of it. So I just fist bumped E and he said, it went pretty good. We got to watch it. That's kind of all I have right now on the defense.
Offensive field, obviously. It looked like a good day for Bryce. McMillan had a drop.
Yeah.
Take us through your assessment of the offense.
Yeah, the first couple of drills, I think the first team period, I was excited about the execution. I was excited about the physicality of it. Some of our play actions we were able to hold up, which can get a little funky, with different fronts. It's a different defense, than what we've been playing all camp. So that's a challenge. But I loved the run game, loved how we moved it, And then the second team period, it got sloppy. We weren't throwing flags. We had I think 3 delay of games and 2 false starts. We can't have that. We're going to put ourselves in really bad spots, when we're putting ourselves in 1st and 15, and or if it's a 3rd and 6 and we have a false start, all of a sudden it's 3rd and 11, and makes it really hard. That's now you're in the 20% or less, conversion zone. So I think that's something that just from what I saw, I was very excited about the physicality. I was very excited about the execution after the snap, pre-snap. These kind of opportunities really shine light on what you need to work on, and so.
And was Brad calling some of the offense or all the offense?
Yeah, he's been calling all of training camp. And our practices were scripted out that way. And I trust Brad. We've been together forever, 2 years. For myself as a play caller, so he and I have been just. It allows me, when he calls the practice like that, it really allows me to be engaged on both sides, and I got, some of my mentors just challenged me to make sure the defense can feel you. Make sure special teams can feel you. They need what you have to bring. They need your presence as a reminder of our standards of practice and what we're looking for. And so, Brad allows me to do that.
Following up on Bryce a little bit, we saw him targeting T-Mac a lot.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the evolution from this rookie wideout with his QB1?
Yeah, it's going great. I love the chemistry that they're developing. I think that, especially down the field, Bryce has been giving, T-Mac a lot of opportunities, a lot of shots down the field to figure out where can I put this, where he's going to be able to get his hands on it, and on the play that he had a touchdown that he dropped today, and he was kind of running a corner route, and Bryce kind of, instead of leading him to the back pylon, Bryce kind of threw it right behind the defender, and I think that was a new one, for T-Mac, because he was like, oh, shoot, this is a good spot for it. Bryce kind of saw it, so I was excited about that. Bryce turned around to me. We're both smiling, and we would love him to catch that ball. He will. But I love just taking those attempts down the field just because it's just the me to you factor, learning new skill players within our scheme.
Dave, go back to what Brad calling plays. Would that be something, an opportunity you'd ever give him during the preseason? Or was your focus? Okay.
Preseason, absolutely. Regular season could be. I think that I still have a lot to give to our team in terms of, being able to have the continuity and the, just kind of building off of the first year, But in the preseason, absolutely. Ajero will do the same thing, with Pete Hansen, with Jonathan Cooley. These are guys that we would love to develop. We're a developmentally minded organization, and that's our players, but it's also our coaching staff, and I think back to my time in Seattle, and I got opportunities to call plays in scrimmages. I got opportunities to call, not to call any of the preseason games, but when we would have move the ball periods and say the second or third group was up, they'd be like, here, give you the walkie-talkie and go for it. Here's, so I would kind of prep the night before and have a couple of thoughts, and it just kind of got my juices going, and so that the first time I get a chance to be an offense coordinator in Tampa, it's not the first time I've ever called plays through a microphone with the delays and all that. So I love that. I love, having that opportunity for those coaches to kind of think for the next step in their careers.
You've praised Jack for his work behind the scenes, and obviously in that third quarterback role, you're getting very limited reps. We saw a really nice play from him to end practice. How much more prepared do you think he is for this preseason than maybe he was last year?
Yeah, a lot more prepared. I saw him take steps throughout last preseason from one game to the next in terms of his operation, just calming down, knowing how to win his way. And then I saw him play really well against the Bills in the third preseason game. So I fully expect, Jack to continue to take strides. He's been there before. He knows all the words. And also to just help elevate the rest of the group, because when you get out there in games, sometimes a guy might not line up properly. Sometimes the clock's running low and, hey, we got to go. So I feel really confident that he'll be able to help that group operate.
Jalen Coker came up with a couple of touchdown passes and 7-on-7s with a kind of a loaded wide receiver room.
Yeah.
What has competition been brought out in him? Have you seen in camp?
Yeah, I think Jalen has taken full advantage of the 5 weeks that we had off since the spring. In OTAs, he kind of just was ramping up, kind of getting a plan for his readiness, and he came back a different athlete. I have to say, of all the guys, Jalen really did a great job of just working on his transition, his speed, his body comp, his readiness for practice and all that. And I think he's just taking steps. He was a rookie last year, kind of thrown into the fire. And this year now he's got a plan. He's got a routine. We talk to the guys about the routines, and people ask, who are the players that you've seen have success over time? It's the young players that have been able to help. They just kind of watch a veteran player and they just follow kind of their preparation, when they study, when they take care of their body, how they recover their legs and all those things. And, and Jalen, he shows up like this, and you're playing against other pros, and he's got game experience, so this isn't too big for Jalen. And he got out there and made some great plays. So, and I'm also excited about his impact on special teams. He's done a great job this camp, also covering kicks and also as a blocker.
It looks like he's doing a lot more of that this summer. How much of a learning curve is that for a guy who in college probably wasn't doing that much of it?
Yeah, it's huge, and I think it tells us a lot about the football player, and their ability to adjust on the fly. Special teams, like you think you have this guy and all of a sudden there's a twist, and it's really reacting on your feet and eyes and kind of knowing at the end of the day, I got to get my hands on somebody on this play. And if you're covering the kick, you have your primary responsibility, then go make a play, so those guys will show up the more we have live reps like we did today. And the more we have these preseason opportunities where the speed of the game, everything goes up, who are the guys that can execute, get off of blocks or maintain it.
What's your plan for the starters Friday?
I think a couple of series. My hope is if you get a good long first drive, we're done there. If it's a 3 and out on either side, I'd love to give them another shot. Somewhere in the, if I had a perfect number, it'd be probably 8 to 12 would be like my high hope for the group. And again, like we talked about, it starts the night before. It's the preparation. It's the morning of. It's what you eat on game day. It's the body readiness, kind of working through those nerves before the game and getting yourself into a great headspace to be able to perform.
Bryce and Tremaine, does he have a shot here?
Absolutely. I think it's because of all the things we talked about with Jalen. He's doing the right things offensively. He's physical in the run game blocking, which is really important to us. He's being where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there as a receiver, and then he's doing stuff on special teams. And so these are all things that we love, and he's going to give himself a real chance.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.